Former Vice President Kamala Harris is lifting the curtain on some of the biggest moments from the 2024 campaign. In her new memoir, 107 Days, she reveals she considered Pete Buttigieg as her running mate, but decided against it. And now, Buttigieg, reacting to the news, said voters care more about what politicians do than who they are. And as for Biden, she admits she had a responsibility to urge him not to run in 2024, a decision she now regrets. Harris is also back in the headlines for a new endorsement backing Democrat Zohran Mamdani in the New York City mayoral race. Here's more from her latest book.
Since leaving office, I've spent a lot of time reflecting.
In her new memoir, 107 Days, former Vice President Kamala Harris opens a window into the whirlwind of decisions that define the 2024 Democratic presidential race. Among the most eye-catching revelations is that Harris initially considered Pete Buttigieg as her running mate, but ultimately stepped back, fearing the electorate might not be ready for a ticket featuring a black woman and a gay man. Harris described Buttigieg as an ideal partner. "If I were a straight white man," writing that the stakes were immense. "We were already asking a lot of America to accept a woman married to a Jewish man," she reflected. She admitted that part of her wanted to say, "Let's just do it," but caution prevailed.
"It wasn't about any prejudice on my part, but we had such a short period of time and the stakes were so high. I think Pete is a phenomenal public servant, and I think America is and would be ready for that. But when I had to make that decision with 2 weeks to go, maybe I was being too cautious. Maybe I was. But that's the decision I made."
Then, in response to Harris, Pete Buttigieg told Politico that he was surprised by the revelation, emphasizing that voters judge politicians on their work and impact, not identity.
"My experience in politics has been that the way you earn trust with voters is based mostly on what they think you're going to do for their lives, not on categories."
In her memoir, Harris also reflected on former President Joe Biden's decision to run for re-election, calling it reckless in retrospect. While she wasn't worried about Biden's ability to govern, she cited concerns about his campaign effectiveness, noting verbal stumbles and a debate performance that made him appear frail. She admitted she could have urged him not to run, but feared it would seem self-serving.
"It's because I realized that I have and had a certain responsibility that I should have followed through on. And so when I talk about the recklessness as much as anything, I'm talking about myself."
Harris also offered glimpses into her ongoing political engagement. She declined to run for California governor and said a potential 2028 presidential bid is not my focus right now. She supported Governor Gavin Newsom's plan to redraw congressional districts to counter Republican strategies and criticized corporate leaders for failing to safeguard democracy. Harris also weighed in on current races, becoming the highest-profile Democrat to publicly support Zohran Mamdani in New York City's mayoral contest.
"Look, as far as I'm concerned, he's the Democratic nominee, and he should be supported."
She emphasized that local leaders across the country, from Mobile, Alabama, to New Orleans, deserve attention. Her support comes amid a split in the Democratic Party, with figures like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries declining to weigh in on Mamdani's candidacy. Harris also criticized President Donald Trump, calling him a tyrant and comparing his tactics to authoritarian regimes. She praised citizen-led accountability, including the reinstatement of talk show host Jimmy Kimmel, as a reminder of public influence over politics. In the end, Harris's memoir and interviews paint a candid picture of the dilemmas, calculations, and risks behind the 2024 campaign, from the ticket she might have built with Buttigieg to the choices surrounding Biden's re-election.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
At $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka kaiju.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
$4
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select the language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.